You were my courage, my sword and shield, grace under pressure, my wall of steel. I was a stone weighing us down. You were the angel I chained to the ground.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Maya. I'm sorry I don't look my greatest today. I have no makeup on or anything. I've been basically just lazing around today because I did not feel good for the past couple of days, and I went to bed super duper late trying to work on something, so I do apologize. But today I'm going to be doing my 26-week update for you guys, and yeah, so I'm just going to get right into it because there's not a whole lot, but there is quite a bit. So little man is about the size of a stalk, or whatever you want to call it, of kale or a butternut squash. On the website I get all of my information from for the 26-week updates. It said kale, but my pregnancy app said butternut squash, so I thought I would just do both for the heck of it. He weighs about 1.7 pounds and is about 14 inches long, so he is getting quite big. I can definitely tell that he's getting bigger. We did have a doctor's appointment this week, so we did go to that, and I will talk more about that and all of that kind of stuff a little later. But now I'm going to get into everything going on with Grace. His heart rate at our doctor's appointment was 138, and his heart rate goes back from the 150s to the 130s. It's up and down all the time. Usually it's up in the 150s, and she says that's fine, but his heart rate was in the 138s, and she said that's a really good heart rate for boys especially, so no worries there. I was really glad to hear that. He is still taking breaths of amniotic fluid, which will help him like practice breathing for when he's outside of the womb. So when he's first born, he'll be able to breathe on his own and he'll know how to do it. So that's good. And he's getting his immune system also ready for the outside world. So everything in his immune system is getting stronger so that he is able to live on the outside world. And my doctor said that right now he is good to come now if he were to come. We obviously don't want him to come now because he would be in the NICU for a while, but he would have a good chance of surviving if he was to come now. Like I said, he would just be in the NICU for a while. She said normally 28 weeks is a better percentage of babies living if they come that early. So I'm just, obviously I don't want Grayson to come this super duper early because one, we don't have very much for him yet because we're waiting for our baby shower, and two, I don't want him to be unhealthy and in the NICU. I just want him to come as close to the due date as he possibly can so that he has everything working and everything like that, so he's healthy and all of that kind of stuff. So another thing with Grayson is he is moving a lot more than what he has been in the previous weeks, which is good. He's still pretty much on his schedule for his sleeping schedule. I do notice he has a big schedule. In the mornings when I wake up, he's really moving around and like stretching out and stuff. And then when I get ready to go to bed, he kind of like knows when I get ready to go to bed, and he kind of settles down, which is really good because a lot of babies are normally active at nighttime because you're not really moving around. So the movements of you moving around usually puts them to sleep. But Grayson is so different than that. When you move around a lot, he moves around a lot. So also if you're just laying down and he knows that you're still awake, he'll know that. And he moves around a lot and stuff like that, but he is pretty good about settling down at nighttime, so that's a good thing. I'm hoping it stays like that, but we won't know yet. But I do definitely feel his kicks more, and it's very they're getting stronger, and I can feel him. I know when he's laying sideways in my stomach and not like up and down, or his feet are one way. I know when he's laying sideways because if he stretches out, I can feel his feet on one side and his hands pushing on the other. So that's really cool that he is getting more active and I'm feeling him more. At my doctor's appointment, my doctor said that my urine looked really, really good. She was really surprised that I had pretty good, and everything else was really good for my vitals and everything. Also, I talked to her about my acid reflux, which I have been put on medicine's right here, and I can't swallow pills, unfortunately, but these things are really easy to take with applesauce. They are capsules and they have these little like white beads in them that I just put into this applesauce and eat it, and it's so easy. And if you get some stuck in your mouth, you can just like drink water and they'll go down super duper easy. It does not change the taste of applesauce or anything, so I'm really glad about that, because that was something I was worried about, because I have a really bad gag reflex when something tastes different because I've put like a pill or something in it. So I'm glad that helps, and that stuff has worked miracles. I've only taken it once. I took it last night at 9 o'clock because my acid reflux is super duper bad at that time. So I took it and I haven't had any acid reflux all night long or all day today. I'm very, very happy about that because it was super duper bad. So I'm really glad about that. So Tuesday I have to go in for my glucose test. If you don't know what a glucose test is, you cannot eat or drink anything sugary for a couple of hours before you go in. It's a pretty much straight sugar drink that you drink. You sit there for an hour and they're basically testing your sugar levels to see if you have gotten diabetes or something, like stuff like that, while you're pregnant, because it is common for you to get diabetes while you're pregnant. I'm pretty sure I'm going to pass that. No worries. I'm not really worried at all. So I do have that on Tuesday. I'm not looking forward to it though, because I heard the drink is super duper gross, but I'm not really, it's not that I'm not looking forward to drinking it. I'm just not looking forward to sitting there for over an hour just to wait to get my blood drawn, because sitting in the hospital is extremely boring. There's nothing to do, but hopefully I will be able to get some of my new pens so I can color. But I'm also worried about it because they do say that you have to eat right afterwards, or else you can get like super duper dizzy or not feel too good afterwards, which is something that I'm really big on. Is I don't want to feel like crap for the rest of the day, so I'm really worried about that. But my mom said that she's going to give me some money so that I can go pick up something like a drink, and then I can go get something to eat afterwards, because if I take my drink with me, I can drink it afterwards. I have to ask about if I can drink my drink before I go there, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to bring water and then drink my tea when I get, like, after the appointment, because I can't drink anything sweet, even though my drink would be unsweetened. I don't know. But I do have to eat like immediately afterwards, or else you can get sick, because it's just straight sugar and nothing else in your body. So I'd want to make sure that I don't get sick, because it's really bad when you're sick while you are pregnant. Another thing is I am almost to my 3rd trimester, which means Grayson will be coming soon. We only have less than 13 weeks and I think 4 days now until my due date, which is crazy because it's coming super duper fast. My little boy's going to be here before I know it, and I'm not necessarily nervous. I'm anxious and excited, and I cannot wait for my baby shower. I'm going to do a big vlog on planning and stuff like that, so I'm super duper excited about that. We are having some trouble getting the building that we want though. They aren't giving us a call back or anything, which is kind of annoying, because we're trying to give them business and giving them like a chance to make business from us, and they don't want to return our calls, so that's fun. So if not, we'll have to figure out somewhere else to go, which isn't a big deal. We might even be able to, if it's warmer out, we might be able to do it somewhere outdoors, which would be awesome, because it's supposed to be springtime and it's pretty cold here. Yesterday was actually really good, but hopefully by the time that the baby shower time comes around, we will be able to have it outside possibly if we cannot get the building. So fingers crossed that we do get the building, but also fingers crossed that it's nice out. If we don't get the building, we can have it somewhere outside. Now I'm going to get into the symptoms that I could have had this week. So the first symptom is trouble sleeping. Now I haven't had much trouble sleeping. I have noticed though that towards the morning time, like a couple hours before I wake, like my alarm clock is supposed to go off, I do toss and turn a lot more, but usually when I go to bed, I'm out for the night until like a couple hours before my alarm clock goes off, and then I'm like turning one way, turning the other, turning another way, turning another way. And I think that's because Grayson starts to get more comfortable when he's around those times, and he's kind of like waking up a little bit, so I feel him like shift a certain way, and it just kind of wakes me up, and then I move so that I'm on that side of him, and I don't know, it's just weird. So also I've been having hot and cold flashes. I have gotten my room to a pretty good temperature. I did have a couple of weeks ago, I was having trouble with my room temperature. I couldn't get it to a comfortable temperature for me, and it was a real struggle because I'd wake up in the middle of the night just to turn off the heat and turn on a fan, and then I'd wake up again to turn on the heat. But now I have my wall heater on all the way, which it does not produce very much heat. That's why I have a heater on my floor, but that one has a fan on it too, so I have the fan going, so it's kind of like mixing in the air and makes it perfect temperature. It is hard to pick a temperature though when somebody like my best friend stays the night. We normally last night she stayed the night, and I did the stupidest thing of not turning off the heat, so I woke up super early like sweating to death, and then I opened my window, fell back asleep, and it was like freezing in there because it was morning air, so it's super cold out. It's still pretty chilly out, but it's not super bad as like it's been. But last night was kind of a struggle of figuring out a temperature, which I'd rather it be cold in my room than hot, because when it gets hot I just can't get comfortable, but when it's cold I can just wrap up in a blanket and I'm comfortable and all of that. The next symptom is swelling, and I haven't had any swelling at all. I have had like tingling feelings and like numbingness in my legs. If I sit a certain way for too long, my legs do start to feel tingly, but they don't swell up. My feet, nothing like that has been swollen. I think my gums are the only things that have been swollen, kind of like inflamed, but I think that's just because I'm having some dental problems right now, so I have to call the dentist and get an appointment in before my son gets here, because once he's here, going to the dentist is going to be a really big struggle. So yeah, so the next symptom is headaches. Now headaches have been a very big thing that I've had this week. I've had headaches and migraines all day, every day. They're okay now, and they're not as bad, but they were bad even if I got a good amount of sleep like I normally do. I just woke up super tired with a headache, and I felt like I just did not feel good, but I think it might be because I had been doing so much, so my body was just worn out from doing all that kind of stuff. So I did take it easy this week and try to do a little bit less. So, but right now I'm actually dealing with an ant problem. So for some reason, somehow, there's a bunch of ants that have accumulated into my room, like teeny tiny little ants, not the normal size ants, really small ants, and they ended up in my little garbage can. I don't know how. I took it out, cleaned it out, and they're still on my floor, so I have to clean all the blankets under my bed so that I know that there's no ants in there. So I'm just trying to make sure there's no ants in here, so when Grayson comes, they're not going to be all over him and all that. So that's something that's been really big in my room, but that's basically all I've had to deal with this week. The next thing is Braxton Hicks contractions. Now I did have Braxton Hicks in the beginning of this week. If you follow me on Musical.ly, you'd know that I was having really bad Braxton Hicks contractions, and I did have some discharge, which kind of scared me, but my doctor said that it was okay, and since I didn't they weren't consistent or anything, she wasn't worried about it. And the discharge could have just been a little piece of my mucus plug that fell out, because it wasn't very much, it was a one thing and it was over with. And she said that if there are instances where your mucus plug can lose a little bit, but it'll just form back and restore itself until the time comes where it really fully falls out. So I know Grayson was fine. I knew I was fine. I was not 100% worried about it. I was scared in some senses because I just wanted to make sure Grayson was fine, but in the back of my mind, I did know that me and Grayson were fine because Grayson was moving around just the same. He didn't have a change in his movements or anything. Now, if he stopped moving and wasn't moving for a while, then I would have gone to the hospital, but me and my mom weren't worried at all. It was just something that kind of happened. Scares of pregnancy. And the last symptom is higher blood pressure. As far as I know, my blood pressure was perfectly fine at my doctor's appointment. Nobody said anything that was bad about my blood pressure. They said everything looked good. I was kind of nervous about my temperature because I did kind of feel iffy that morning when I went, but I'm pretty sure my temperature was fine. They didn't say anything otherwise, so I was glad that everything seemed to be alright. A couple things that have happened this week was the Braxton Hicks contractions. Obviously, I've talked about that. Another thing is I'm having more up and down spells of where I'm extremely exhausted and don't feel like doing anything, and then there's also days where I feel like doing everything. Yesterday, especially with the warm weather, I didn't feel like doing anything because I stayed inside. I didn't really think much about going outside because I was oh, it's probably disgusting out. And I went outside and I ended up walking around my parking lot of a school that I live by, plus the railroad tracks I was walking on, for probably about 3 to 4 hours, and that I definitely knew was some really good exercise because my stomach was sore because I was walking around a lot and my hips were sore. So I was really glad that I did a lot of that exercise because I do want to get out more now that it's going to start getting warmer out, because I don't like sitting inside doing nothing, because I feel like I'm just going to start feeling worse and worse if I don't get up and do some more stuff. So I have been trying to do some more things. I'm also planning more stuff for the baby shower. I'm thinking I'm going to do some more, do some big DIY things, to do some prep things, instead of getting the confetti for the candy table, I'm thinking I'm going to possibly make it, or I'll make some other stuff. Not 100% sure yet, but yeah, so that is pretty much it. We are planning the baby shower, glucose test. Those are all things that are coming up. So I'm going to talk about my cravings. Now, I didn't write down my cravings. I'm not surprising because I usually do, but so this week, my cravings were French toast sticks. So I had Burger King French toast the weekend before, and I ended up getting Eggo French toast, where you just pop it in the toaster and then you can pull apart the little sticks. It looks like a piece of bread, kind of and then it has the pull apart. So I went through that box, and then I also was craving chocolate chip waffles, which I still have some, but I wasn't craving them as much as the French toast. And I also have been craving chicken and pizza a lot this week. Now, I did not give in really to these cravings a lot. I did not eat them every day, mainly because I hadn't had my medicine yet and it was going to be really bad, worse than what it already was. If I did eat that pizza, it would have been so much worse. So I did have chicken yesterday, and I took my acid reflux medicine and I didn't have to deal with any of that, so that was good. Some drinks that I've been craving have been Dr. Pepper is back to being a big craving drink this week. What What else? I'm thinking water has been a big one. Oh, orange juice and milk. Orange juice is bigger than milk craving though. Orange juice I have drank so much this week with breakfast. I don't know if it's just because like I wanted to drink something different than my water in the morning or whatnot, but it has been bigger this week. So yeah, those are pretty much all of my cravings. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my belly shot.
So this is my belly. I think I'm pretty sure he moved up because I don't know if you guys can tell, but last week you could definitely tell that he was more down here because it was bigger down here. But now that he's moved up, my stomach's kind of like evened out a little bit. But he is definitely getting bigger. I don't have any stretch marks on my stomach, which I'm pretty glad about. But I do have to say that this cocoa butter is really, really good for if you have like itchy spots and all that kind of stuff.
So I have been using that cocoa butter for probably since I was like a little under 20 weeks. I haven't gotten any stretch marks. If I have itchy spots and I put that on, it instantly makes the itchy spots go away. And if my stomach is sore too, just putting that cocoa butter on helps a tremendous bit. So I'm very glad I have that to help out with all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.
Downtown crowd, oh, but I can hear you call me